Robert Browning lived from 1812 to 1899. He could read and write by the age of 5 and had composed an entire volume of poetry by the age of 12. Though it was unpublished, it is still very impressive because, he was 12.
At age 21, his first book was published, Pauline. It received a negative and honestly rather rude reaction from critics. They made fun of him for putting so much personal information into the book, which rather embarrassed him, and he vowed to never reveal such personal information in his works again.
Following the publication of Pauline, he began writing dramatic monologues, and a dramatic monologue is exactly what it sounds like. A monologue that's dramatic. He enjoyed the drama and emotion. He was a real touchy-feely kind of guy.
With everything he published, critics tore him apart, but eventually he grew immune to it and just wrote for the love of writing, not to impress others. Yo, you suck, bro.
You do you, I do me. 'Kay? A few years down the road, he met and fell in love with fellow poet Elizabeth Barrett. Browning's father didn't approve, so they eloped to Italy and spent 15 happy years together before Elizabeth's death. Their mutual passion for poetry greatly contributed to their love for each other.
Their relationship inspired his book, Men and Women, which reflected his passion for his wife. Though it also showed his interest in painters, poets, and madmen. After Elizabeth's death, Browning continued writing, and it was not until he was almost 60 years old that he finally began receiving the recognition for his poetry that he deserved.
Porphyria's Lover. The rain set early in tonight. The sullen wind was soon awake. It tore the elm tops down for spite and did its worst to vex the lake. I listened with heart fit to break when glided in Porphyria. Straight she shut the cold out and the storm, and kneeled and made the cheerless grate blaze up, and all the cottage warm. Which done, she rose, from her form withdrew the dripping cloak and shawl, and laid her soiled gloves by, untied her hat, and let the damp hair fall. And last, she sat down by my side and called me. When no voice replied, she put my arm about her waist and made her smooth white shoulder bare, and all her yellow hair displaced, and stooping, made my cheek lie there, and spread o'er all her yellow hair, murmuring how she loved me. She too weak for all her heart's endeavour to set its struggling passion free from pride, and vainer ties dissever, and give herself to me for ever. But passion sometimes would prevail, nor could tonight's gay feast restrain a sudden thought of one so pale for love of her, and all in vain. So, she was come through wind and rain. Be sure I looked up at her eyes happy and proud. At last I knew Porphyria worshipped me. Surprise made my heart swell, and still it grew while I debated what to do. That moment she was mine, mine, fair, perfectly pure and good. I found a thing to do, and all her hair in one long yellow string I wound 3 times her little throat around, and strangled her. No pain felt she. I am quite sure she felt no pain. Porphyria's love. She guessed not how her darling one wish would be heard. And thus we sit together now, and all night long we have not stirred. And yet, God has not said a word.
Porphyria, by exposing parts of her body that she would not show in public, was showing the narrator that she wanted to give herself to him, completely.
In this time, if a woman wanted to be with a man, this was the same as wanting to belong to him.
This was how relationships worked in their society.
When he realized that this girl was his and he could do whatever he wished with or to her, he did so.
What he wished to do to her just so happened to be killing her.
Not quite what she had in mind, I bet.
Browning did have a fascination with madmen.
Browning passed away in 1899 at the age of 87 in Venice, Italy.
At the time of Browning's death, he finally became a hugely respected literary figure. The end.